Hey folks, Jamie here. Thank you for tuning in. Before we get started, I would like for you to take a moment and go down below and hit the like and subscribe buttons. Maybe leave a comment. If you're really feeling generous, maybe share this video to your social media feeds. What that does is make it a lot easier for other people to find a moment of tiki. I really appreciate it and it helps out a lot. Thanks. Now, on with the show. Welcome to another episode of A Moment of Tiki, coming to you from the Lagoon of Mystery, my home tiki bar here in Central Texas. In the past, I have mentioned that I don't often plan ahead, which is why not very many of my episodes are tied into, the immediate thematic happenings of the calendar year. Well, this is the episode where I prove myself wrong because it is now July, and that means many people are beginning their dry July. That is, they are abstaining from alcohol for a month. Anyone who has had conversations with me online knows that while I do enjoy a good cocktail, I'm also adamant that cocktail bars as well as home bars should have an attractive slate of alternative options for their guests who are not drinking at the time. It doesn't matter whether the person has medical needs to prevent it from drinking, or they're pregnant, or they're just abstaining for health reasons, or they're sober, they're a recovering alcoholic. There is no need for someone to go into a bar or a home bar and say, well, I'm not having any alcohol tonight, or either be challenged for this stance, which again, it's no one's business but their own, or to be given a Sprite and said, here you go, this is all we got. They should be able to enjoy something that is as experiential as everyone else is having, particularly when we're dealing with tiki. So what I am going to do today is share with you a recipe for a mocktail, a drybation, so to speak, that I came up with several years ago for the Home Bar Awards, which is an Instagram contest that started off as kind of a little fun side gig for a guy, and it just has since blown up into this crazy, nutso, massive monstrosity. But anyway, I entered this in a Dry January challenge and ended up getting honorable mention, which made me feel really great because I was just a fledgling home bartender and had never entered anything before, and to get that level of validation was really exciting. Plus, this has proven very popular cocktail with my kids. Now, I must mention my kids are 16, 21, and 23, and they all enjoy it. So, there's something to be said for that. Now, the primary ingredient in the Cocolica wine new, which is what I have named it, is coconut milk. Now, while I tend to agree that fresh squeezed is always best, freshly squeezing coconut is a bit of a challenge. Fortunately, coconut milk comes in a variety of different forms. I find the canned variety very convenient. It stores a long time. You might get a little separation of the solids, shake it up. Don't worry about it. It's all fine. It keeps for almost ever. It also comes in quarts, available in the refrigerated section next to milk and other dairy products. And that is a fantastic option as well. Now for this recipe, I measure out 2 ounces of coconut milk. And for this cocktail, I wanted to use coconut milk as a base. One, because it's rich and creamy and has a tropical flavor to it, but it's also really an underutilized recipe in tiki and other cocktail recipes. So next is ½ ounce of cinnamon syrup. I just made some fresh cinnamon syrup the other day. half an ounce of orgeat, some of my homemade orgeat, which I have provided the recipe for in the past. One-quarter ounce passion fruit juice, passion fruit syrup, excuse me. One-half ounce lemon juice. Is it just me, or lemons for their size never quite give as much juice as limes do? Half an ounce of lemon. Okay, now this is a part you won't find in many home bartenders' arsenals. Egg whites. 1/2 ounce of egg whites. You can get powdered egg whites. They need to be reconstituted before use. These prepackaged egg whites come already pasteurized, and they keep for quite a long time. You can also use real egg whites, but that's a little bit more complex. Finally, we have all this in here. We're going to add half a teaspoon of cocoa powder. You want unsweet chocolate. We want to strive for balance here. This mocktail drybation is already on the sweet side, but it is not cloyingly so. So add the cocoa powder in there. Trying to give it some subtle kisses of flavor. Now that we have all of the ingredients in there, we're going to add a scoop of ice. Now, because there's no alcohol in this cocktail, the ice isn't going to melt like it would normally. So keep in mind, you're not going to be getting that dilution. So what we're going to do with this here is use the spindle blender to flash blend it, introduce a lot of aeration, fluff up those egg whites, and give it a really rich, creamy, decadent mouthfeel. Very nice. Now let's move this to the side. And we are going to use our Hawthorne strainer to strain it into a coupe glass. You get that rich, frothy texture. My mouth's watering just looking at it. Finally, since we are not Philistines, we are in need of a garnish. But what garnish for this? Well, we are going to use 85% dark chocolate with microplane here, and just grate right over the top. Now you could use regular dairy with this instead of the coconut milk. I have found, and I've experimented some, but the coconut milk gives it a little lighter, more tropical texture and flavor. It's really rich and decadent. Sweet, but not overly sweet. There's a hint of the cinnamon, tropic spices, got the passion fruit there, a little bit of orgeat, and chocolate, although it's not a chocolate drink, not a chocolate milkshake. It's really, really a crowd pleaser right here. And one of the good things about this is it's easily scalable. If you want to go beyond a coupe, you can scale it up, double the recipe, and it'll fill a Poco Grande glass pretty nicely, especially with the added volume from the egg whites. Just an incredibly silky texture. Got the coconut, passion fruit juice, cinnamon. I mean, just everything just kind of blends together in a fruity, refreshing tropical whole. So yeah, highly recommend it if you have the means. If you don't have a spindle blender, you can do the same thing in a cobbler shaker or a Boston shaker. You might want to reverse dry shake. You're gonna have to shake like heck to get that volume with the egg whites, but still, it's absolutely doable. So from me to you, don't go thirsty this dry July. Until next time from the Lagoon of Mystery, aloha. That's good.